Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams. This is the post-match reaction to the Wolves, the Everton Wolves game, which finished 1-0. Connor Cody getting the goal for Wolves, which I'm sure we absolutely love. Yeah, it's just my reaction to the game, how I thought it went, and vice versa, the ordinary. Disappointed. I think you can tell sort of the lack of enthusiasm I've got for it. Just disappointed. These two home games, there was a lot of pressure being pinned on them anyway. Wolves are a good team. They're high up the table. They are very defensively sound. I know they've had a couple of blinkers, Arsenal, for example, but they had a good result at the week, in the week, sorry. Then they played us, and it's a 1-0 win. It's tough. It's tough for a couple of reasons, and I think the main one being we're just not learning our lessons as a football club. Doesn't matter if you're Benitez, Lampard, people higher up, the players, we're not learning lessons. For me, 5 back at Everton, 3 back, whatever you want to call it, never works. The system never seems to fit in. I know people all argue it depends on the system that's being used, and that's fair, but I've never seen a game where we use it where I think we could be something in this formation. Never seen it. Didn't happen under Benitez. Didn't happen now. I didn't really rate it when Ancelotti used it. I mean, I will give him credit here though. When he did use it, it really stopped the goals coming in, which is something I think we'd all be dying for right now. But I was never like, this is a world-beating formation. This, if we keep him and we play like this next season, we'll get Europe. I never thought it was that. It was just a very contained formation. Benitez's was about as leaky as a sieve, and Lampard's, I just think it looks stale. We used it against Borough Wood. It makes us look really stale and out of ideas. There's one lesson we're not learning. 4-3-3 was really good. We're not going back to that for some unknown reason. Maybe he doesn't trust the back four. We played really well against City. I don't know why it's changed. And stuff like that. He's playing a different four. I'll get into a lot more of it, but I will say this as well for Frank Lampard. You've got to give credit where it's due, and you've got to criticise where it's due. The changing of the system every game, I don't think is working. I think the players are becoming a little bit lost under it. You can't play a 4-4-2, then a 5-2-3, then or a 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it, then play a 4-3-3. Week in, week out, switching between them. The players need a bit of consistency now more than ever, and just pick one, stick with it, work on it, and just grind it out to the end of the season. Whichever one. I'd prefer the 4-3-3, but if he wants to use the 4-4-2 or the 5-2-3, which again I think we're too overrunning midfield with two midfielders, but if he wants to use that, at least stick with it, and you can iron out the creases. You're constantly changing. You're not noticing the flaws in the systems you're playing. Please just ideally stick with the 4-3-3 till the end of the season, and let's just get it over the line, whatever it may be. Hopefully we stay up. I will say this, there was a lot of pressure on these two games. Wolves are a good side. I didn't have the hopes of beating Wolves. I thought we might get a draw, which I'd have been okay with. It puts a lot of pressure on the Newcastle game now, and the Watford game away. It's the games around us. I think Newcastle is safe in all honesty now, but they're a team that we should be beating. I say that. It's a team that we should have been beating. Obviously, under the current form, I don't think we have the right to say we should be beating anybody. But and then we've got Watford. We've got to be beating the teams around us and below us if you want to stay up. If you can't beat the teams around and below you, then you are going to go down. It's as simple as that. As for the game itself, like I said, common mistakes coming up again. The 5 back, taking Mikalenko, our only natural left-footed player, off, sticking a player who's not naturally left-footed there. I am sick to death of seeing a right-footed player at left back. It's all right. It's all right until it's not even all right. When you look at the average positions, sorry for score, for example, do it. We are so, it's bizarre. It's like, this is the team for the right, a lot of width. This is the team for the left. I don't even know how to do it with my hands, but so inverted. It's like that, and then like that. It's so inverted. It's really hard to say it on camera. But You can see it. There's no width going down that left-hand side. So then we become completely one-dimensional. Makes it a little bit harder to play off the winger as well ahead of him. It just sick of seeing it. And nobody on that left-hand side is going to be able to get a first-time cross in, which is what last year we really did well on, hitting those first-time crosses into Calvert-Lewin. That's not happening anymore. Why? Because we've got a right-footed player who has to cut inside in Kenny. And then on the right, there's a lot of this season we've been playing Andros Townsend on the right, who has to cut it on his left. Again, a very predictable footballer. That wasn't the case today, but that's just another example of another part of the field that we do that. It's brilliant if you play with inverted wingers, but Everton and what we proved last year with a centre forward like we do, we just need crosses into the box, quality delivery for Calvert-Lewin. What's the point in having a player who, for all he's great, we always say his ball on the ball, one-on-ones, ball at the feet aren't as strong as his aerial presence. Play to your strengths for your team. If you've got a centre forward who's one of the best in the air, don't go playing it across the floor in a like tippy-tappy passing or possessive based. Just get it to the wingers who can put in a decent ball. I can't explain how much more simple it'd be. If he was one of these that was silky smooth, could run, dribble, like a Gabriel Jesus or like an Aguero type player, I'd be like, yeah, play it on the floor, do that. That suits his style more. Don't hit it up if he was like 5'5". He's a big lad with a great aerial reach and a good head, play to his strengths. Obviously, he didn't play either because he was injured, so we got Richarlison. I thought Richarlison, he had a couple of chances, didn't he, at the side netting. I don't think he's your out-and-out striker. I think he's better when you play somebody alongside him, in all honesty. Somebody he can bounce off, somebody that can hold the ball up, play him through. So I think he works a lot better in a 2. Obviously, that wasn't going to be the case because Calvert-Lewin's still recovering from an injury, which is half the problem as well this season. Our main goal scorer has been out. We've missed all those goals. They could have made all the difference for all we know. So it is tough in that aspect. But then ultimately, Wolves, again, the goal came from set piece. All right, it bounced. It was, reflected back out, rebounded back out to them, and then Neves put the ball back in. But again, their defenders were still in the line of the free kick because they knew the ball was coming back in. I don't think our defenders, I don't know what they were doing. I think it was Holgate again on him. Why are you ball watching him? Why have you let him? By the time that ball comes in and Mason Holgate realises what's happening, Connor Cody's literally sitting on his shoulders. And it was a good header as well. Credit to Connor Cody, and I bet he loved that. Potentially one of the goals that puts Everton in the down, scored by Liverpool supporting Merseyside-born Connor Cody. As Sky very much like to inform everybody watching at home, I'm sure he loved that, and I'm sure he'll have a good laugh at that with his mates and his family tonight. But again, it's the same problems. Why are we so poor when it comes to set pieces and our defenders not being able to be aerially present? Obviously, Yerry Mina again is another problem with that. If he was fit, we talked about this, we miss Mina massively. If he was just fit, if his body wasn't his worst enemy, it'd be brilliant. But his body is his worst enemy, and it's such a shame because he's our best centre back by miles. I like Ben Godfrey, but he's not our best centre back, not by a long run. He has the potential to be, of course he does, but he's not right now. But yeah, it was disappointing. I'm trying not to be too negative because I know you guys will be down anyway, and the last thing you want to do is watch someone else who's negative. It brings the mood down and we'll all be sort of a swamp. But I can't express how much Newcastle is a must win, and we really need to pick points up, and we need to pick points up on the road. That Watford game, even though it's on the road, on the Schmode, we need to be winning that. That's the game's in our hands there. The game is literally, we have the power to win it. Unlike, sometimes where you don't play any of the bottom teams again and they might pick up points against teams and like that's out of your hands. That's just a bit of luck. You need to do what you can. We actually have the chance to put a nail in one of the teams below us. If we've missed that, then there is an argument to say we probably deserve to be where we are if we can't beat the teams that are less, in a worse spot than us. Obviously, moving on, Newcastle got to be a lot bit better. Hopefully, we'll see DCL back. I think we massively miss him. I hope we see a 4-3-3. Love to see Alan back in it. Alan, Decore, and Van der Beek play a lot better together. Van der Beek and Decore, I wasn't impressed today, but it's neither of them are defensive players. A lot of people keep saying they can't believe we played Van der Beek so deep, and that was the same at United when they did it. People were going, I can't believe you play him so deep. He's not a deep player. Decore, he can do it, but I don't think he's a naturally. Again, it's about playing to your strengths that you've got in that side, and Decore isn't a deeper player. That's not his strength. He'd like to run around a little bit more. He's more of your box to box. If we don't play to our players' strengths, what do we expect? Sort of thing. You know, we're playing almost to their limitations instead of their strengths. A couple of you, I'm sure, will be on about going down. Do I think we'll get relegated? At the minute, it's mad that I'm going to say this because if so, but I refuse to get caught in the hyperbole and the Twitter storm that's going on. I'm worried, but I don't think we're down yet. Purely because we still got games in hand. If we don't win any of them, or we only win, like, I'd say even if we only win one of them, we're in a little bit of trouble. It depends on how we look after those games in hand. If it's still looking as scary as it is, then it literally becomes who's got a bottle, us or Burnley, and I think Burnley have the bottle more than us for this. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can get some of those games in hand. If we win all 3 of them, that's 9 points. That pushes us where Newcastle are, who I've just said I think are safe. We just need to break away from these. You know, we'd be level with them then on points and games, and I think they're safe now. So it's just a matter of getting those games won. So yeah, I call it blind optimism, although it doesn't sound it in the tone of my voice, or blind faithfulness, or just not willing to accept reality. But I'm not going to say we're down yet, but it is. But I also, you know, I'm not going to say we're staying up because I'm not confident on either. I don't think we're going down just yet, but I also don't think we're safe by any stretch. It's a limbo, and it all holds on these three games in hand. My whole sort of attitude on whether we go down or not is on that. Got to take it as it comes. You know, everyone was sort of hoping today would be a win purely because of the Goodison crowd. That can only do so much. Obviously, you know, fans can cheer and chant and get behind the players as much as they physically can. But the players, you know, that's only like so much. The players have got to actually do it. They've got to get a win, and the team have to be set up properly. There's so much more to it than that. As much as I fully appreciate how much playing at home betters our team, and it does. I would just say that don't hold that every home game then therefore is going to be a win. I think every game from now till the end is going to be tough, whether it's home or away. I don't think any games are clear win, you know, easy winners. I think they're all going to be tough. But it's just a matter of holding, grinding out, keeping your fingers crossed, closing your eyes, and just going straight to the end, I think. But yeah, guys, obviously, sorry, this might be a little bit negative. It might be a little bit, a little bit negative. I'm trying not to be too bad because, again, like I said, there is that little bit of optimism in me that thinks we'll be okay. But it's the same overall. From watching the match, I thought it's the same mistakes that's cost us all season. It's the same mistakes being made now, and it was infuriating 2 months ago to see us make the same mistakes. Now it just sort of puts me in the mood of I cannot believe, disbelief, but also just unemphasized disbelief of. That's my mood. It's not even negative. It's just. But yeah, that's all I've got time for today, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your thoughts. Do you think we're down yet? Do you think there's much more to go? Are you like me, thinking these 3 games? Then I'll judge it. Let me know your thoughts on the relegation and the game itself. Let me know if you saw any positives. I will say this: the one positive I did see is that, like, we had earlier on, we had a couple of chances, but that's the story of Everton this season again. Look good until something goes against us or we just drop off. A very reactionary team. That is, again, a problem we've had all season. But yeah, take care, guys, and I will see you very soon.